Hello and welcome to Learning English with Stephen. My name is Stephen Green and today we're going to talk about a learning strategy. A learning strategy is what good learners do to learn a language. Now, English is my L1, my first language. English was easy for me to learn. I learned it as a kid. I learned it just by being alive and listening to my parents, watching TV and all the things any normal child does. Portuguese is my second language or my L2. Portuguese was not easy for me to learn. In fact, I am still learning it. I learned Portuguese by studying, by thinking about it, by paying attention to it. I struggle and I fight and I make lots of mistakes. When I started teaching English, there was this idea in some schools that you should not use your L1, your first language. You should only use English. There were signs on some of the classroom doors where I taught saying English only. And that's how I started teaching, and I thought it was the right way to do it. It makes sense, doesn't it? In this classroom, you only speak English. The idea is to get you to think in English and speak English all the time. But, and it's a big but, if I think about how I learned Portuguese, I don't think about Portuguese in Portuguese. I often think about Portuguese in English. And what I do is sometimes I compare and I contrast. I look at the similarities between English and Portuguese. If they're the same, then I just remember, Portuguese is the same as English for this part. Now, it might be the same in terms of vocabulary or in terms of grammar. More often than not, they're not the same. There is a difference. It could be a really big difference, or it could just be a small, subtle difference. For example, with vocabulary, the word might look the same, but the pronunciation is different or the stress is different. So I try to remember the similarities and the differences. Something else that I do to learn Portuguese is if I have a problem, a doubt or a question, I like to talk about it in English. I find it's much easier to raise my doubts and to talk about specifics in English than it is in Portuguese. So if I like to do this to learn Portuguese, surely my students would like to do this with English. And I do this with my students. After teaching them something, I just very quickly check, how do you say this in Portuguese? Is that the right concept? If they give me the right answer, brilliant, we can move on to the next point. If they haven't got it, if they can't express it in Portuguese, then maybe I need to go back and teach something again. And many times it's easier just to give a translation. Instead of spending 20 minutes trying to show something and give examples in English, a quick translation and on we go to the next point. A third reason why we shouldn't ignore our first language is that sometimes we need to translate. I've been in many situations with somebody who doesn't speak Portuguese and I am translating for them between Portuguese and English. So this is a skill that we need. But also, our first language is such a great resource. We understand how the world works. We have so much knowledge about language and the world through our first language. And so to ignore that is ignoring a very rich resource. Now, I need to stress, I'm not saying we should translate everything. We need to find a balance. Trying to use our second language as much as possible, but using our first language in the right place and at the right time. Now this has another effect. This has an effect on the teacher that you choose to have. Many people assume that just because I'm a native speaker, I'm better than a Brazilian teacher of English. Nowadays, I have very good Portuguese, so I can use my Portuguese and my English. But when I started teaching English, I only knew English. I was not a better teacher than a local teacher. So, if you're looking for a new teacher, don't assume that a native speaker like me is better than a local teacher. What you want is a teacher who is fluent in your first language and English. And more often than not, that will be a local teacher. Okay, that's all from me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my channel so that you get all the new videos. You can also find me on Facebook, on Twitter, Instagram, all the social media. My name there is usually English with Stephen. If you have any comments or any questions, please just write in the comments section below. I promise I will try to answer everybody who leaves a message. Thank you very much for your time. I hope to see you again soon. Bye bye.